What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog, live from the early access event. So thank you to Wizards of the Coast for providing access to me as well as all the other content creators on this special preview day. So thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for the early access streamer event. All right, so this one we're taking a look at an Abzan deck that's kind of focused around Idol of Endurance. It's kind of a Lurus type effect and on an artifact, which is pretty interesting. So 3 mana, 2 and white, you get an artifact. It's not legendary, although probably don't really need multiples of these out, but it does have an enter the battlefield effect, so it is worth running multiples of these. So we're running all 4. So when it enters the battlefield, exile all creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard until Idol of Endurance leaves the battlefield. You can pay 1 and a white and tap it to cast a creature spell from among the cards exiled with Idol of Endurance without paying their mana cost. So you basically get one of your 1, 2, or 3 drops from your graveyard for free. So works really well with like a sacrifice or even like a self-mill style deck. So we're doing we're kind of more on the, since we're on Abzan, we're more on the self-mill. So we have things like Mire Triton and Glowspore Shaman. Those are going to be our fuel to kind of help us fill up our graveyard a little bit. I mean, we're not all in on that, so we're just running 4 Glowspore Shamans, 4 Mire Tritons, and then we're happy to trade in combat and things like that to fill up our graveyard that way. So just kind of review Glowspore Shaman. It's a green and a black for a 3/1, so it's pretty decently statted. When it enters, you they changed the wording on this. Since they added mill as a keyword, they actually have mill. They've changed the updated the wording on all the existing cards as well. So mill 3 cards, and you can put a land from your graveyard on top of your library, which works amazing in any kind of mid-range, especially like a 3-card deck, like what we're trying to do right here. So if you're missing that 3rd land, if you need your 3rd color, I should say, or your 3rd or 4th land, depending on the spells you have in your hand, then Glowspore Shaman is amazing. So you can keep a 2-land hand with a Glowspore Shaman. You're probably going to mill a land from the 3 cards, and then you can just get that land back on top of your library, which you need lands because you already have good spells in your hand. So Glowspore Shaman, just a nice all-around card. And same thing with Mire Triton. It's a 2/1. It has Death Touch. You gain 2 life and you mill 2 cards. So it's pretty fantastic in lots of different situations. So some of the new cards here are Archfiend's Vessel. Archfiend's Vessel is a 1/1 for 1 mana with lifelink, so it's a pretty reasonable body right there. However, if it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, exile it. If you do, create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. So we do have some ways to, we want to fill up our graveyard a little bit, and just a 1/1 for 1, it's going to pretty easily die. So you're happy to, jump block this and have it go to your graveyard. And then you have ways of getting it back, which we're going to get to here in a little bit. Scavenging Ooze is another new card. It's a 2/2 for 2 mana. Pay green to exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on Scavenging Ooze, and you gain 1 life. So you can hit any graveyard. So if you want to do your own, you could. Like if you're on a control deck and they're not running creatures, you can just sink a bunch of mana into this and make your Ooze really big and maybe finish off your opponent, or at least pressure them significantly. But more often than not, you're going to be trying to hit your opponent's graveyard whenever possible to grow this. Especially works amazing against things like Uro or Crocs, anything with escape, anything that can come out of your opponent's graveyard. Ooze, it's not something I've played with before personally, but obviously it's been around for a long time and it's put in a lot of work in previous standards, and it should be really good in this one. So pretty much any deck, this card seems like it's going to get value, so I think Ooze can get a lot of play. Definitely seems like it's very main deckable, even if it's just a couple copies. And it's definitely sweet sideboard tech at the minimum. So we also have some interaction here, and 2 copies of Mythos of Nethroi. Instant speed for Abzan mana, being able to destroy any non-land permanent is just pretty amazing. I love this card. Necropanther, it's a familiar face here, 3/3 for 3 mana. You can mutate it for 4, and if it mutates, you return a creature card with mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So Archfiend's Vessel, boom, 5/5. Flying, that's pretty amazing. Knight of Autumn here. Since we do need creatures here, we're going to run, I just like the versatility on this. Instead of you could run like a Thrashing Brontodon, but the double green is a little bit tricky. Obviously a 3/4 body is pretty reasonable, but this can be a 4/3, so it's a little more aggressively statted potentially. And being able to either also gain life against aggressive matchups. while making a 2/1 or being able to destroy an artifact or enchantment. Just having the versatility on this, I think it makes us, and especially at this mana cost, makes it a little bit more worthwhile than, say, like a Thresh and Brontodon or something similar. But you do need a creature to have this kind of effect, so definitely want to run one or the other. Not a lot of them, just more versatile and easier to cast in a 3-color deck. So Liliana, I'm not really sure how good this card is going to be. So we're just kind of jamming it in here because we're trying the new cards. It's early access event. So just review Liliana, Waker of the Dead, 4 mana, 4 loyalty, Planeswalker, +1. Each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Okay, so we're going to have to discard a card as well, so it's something to keep in mind. But we do have this kind of graveyard type reanimation synergy, so we don't necessarily mind discarding the creature card because we have ways of getting it back. But your opponent has to discard, that's the key thing. And if you get to a point where your opponent can't discard a card, then they lose 3 life, so that's pretty decent. The fact that it's it's repeatable, it's a +1, so that's it seems decent. I don't know how good that's going to be in practice, but we'll see. So -3 is target creature gets -X on a turn, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. So Glowspore Shaman, Mire Triton, they're going to be milling cards and help you fill up your graveyard. And the fact that this doesn't care about creatures or what type of cards they are, I think that's pretty interesting removal. And then the -X. It's a great way to get around, kind of like the Adonto Vanguard type effect, where you can make something indestructible. Obviously, there's still some nice hexproof effects that you have to be aware of, but overall, Liliana, Wake of the Dead should be pretty reasonable. But of course, the real star is the -7. So it starts at 4, then you have to plus it a few times, but if you do get to that -7, you get an emblem with the beginning of combat and your turn. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, gains haste. So this could just be win more. This could be really amazing and like the right build. I don't know if this is the right build for it. But, want to play some new cards. I'm sure I'll be taking a closer look at this and trying out some different things as we get more into the set. But, we're just here to have fun. It's early access, and we'll see what happens. And rounding out the curve here, we got 3 copies of Vraska, Golgari, Queen. Just a fantastic all-around card. Just being able to sacrifice maybe creatures to fill up your graveyard, or also being able to remove stuff on your opponent's side for a mana 3 or less. And, of course, the -9. Thanks to her +2, you can actually get that pretty quickly, so Vraska is just a really solid Planeswalker. And Nethroi works great in any kind of reanimation graveyard synergy like this. So Nethroi, Apex of Death, 5/5 for 5 mana, Death Touch, Lifelink. That's pretty solid right there. 5 mana isn't too crazy of an ask, especially when you have lots of ways to kind of stall out, get lands with Glowspore Shaman, things like that. You can mutate it for 7 mana, which is a little bit steep. We do have the Necropanther as well that we can mutate, onto this to get that mutate effect. Whenever it mutates, return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So obviously works with Archfiend's Vessel, and pretty much any of our other creatures really. So yeah, it's a pretty solid card. And then just basic 24 lands, 3 planes, the 1 Castle Locthwain if the game kind of drags on a little bit. Since we are kind of a grindy, almost Golgari style deck. The game can go long, so we definitely need some way to kind of dig our way out of it. 3 Swamp, 3 Forest, 4 Godless Shrine, 4 Overgrown Tomb, 4 Temple Garden, and then just 2 of the Triomes here. Alright, so that's the deck, and let's jump into some matches, and let's see how we do. Alright, against Necro. This hand seems pretty reasonable. Guess we start on Shrine into Forest, and then we either Glowspore or Ooze. Let's see what we're up against. That's the Teamer Trial. There's our idol, that's pretty cool. So we'll start with the Godless Shrine, and then we can go Forest and Dorat. Okay. Teamer Dorat. That's gonna be a little hard to deal with. So they don't have anything in their graveyard now. They can easily shock it. So I think I'd rather just run the Glowspore Shaman out, just to get that mill going. Give him a 3/1 body to target. So we did get a Vessel, that's pretty cool. I don't expect any enchantments or artifacts on our opponent's side. Let's attack 3. I mean, we're at 15, it's not terrible. What do we have? Three cards in graveyard. Idle, I guess. That's what we're here to do, play new cards. So we'll start there. Next turn we have options with Necropanther, Knight of Autumn, or Ooze, if they have like some jumpstart cards or something in the graveyard. Radical Idea could be reasonable, but doesn't seem amazing. Okay, Brazen Borrower, so that's kind of a blowout. So they make us waste our turn, hit for 6. Yep. Crash Through is like a new card, I guess, but it's not anything amazing. We could take 2, gain 4. That's pretty lame. I think we'll just run this out, gain the life, play a tap land, swing 3, and hope that's enough. Bone Crusher Giant. They just fire that off immediately. 0 new cards. I mean, Crash Through is technically a new card, but it was in it's in Historic, so I guess. We already know Dorat is a good card. That was super impressive, opponent. You did Dorat. Cool. All right. So obviously against slower, faster decks, our deck does not do so well. But hey, we're just here to try out some stuff. All right, up against Pixie Kitten. Oh man, this hand is pretty sketchy. I mean, we have the idle, but we don't have any way to fill it up, so... And a bunch of 4-drops. So I think we have to say no. We'll keep this. It's not amazing. I think Vraska has to go. And we'll start off with the Vessel into Ooze. Maybe Shock for Endurance. Idle of Endurance. We'll see. But we do have our colors at least. Temple of Deceit. That's a nasty card. Usually implies some kind of a nasty control build. Glowspore Shaman seems pretty amazing with an Idol of Endurance, so let's drop that down. I mean, we have a 3rd land. I think we just need to dig for more stuff at this point. Idol's not really doing any good. So we had to mulligan to 6, and it looks like we're up against a control deck, so this is not looking so good. Well, swing 4. See if they got Tyrant's Scorn, Heartless Act. What's that new instant speed removal spell? Eliminate or something like that? There it is. Eliminate. Alright, let's drop the Ooze. We do need some more green mana so we can really take advantage of that. But we could Idol of Endurance just to get a Glowspore Shaman. Okay, Teferi's Tutelage. So a bunch of new cards. That's cool to see. I don't like seeing that we're up against a control deck though. But yeah, this is one of the decks I'm not. I feel like it needs a lot of refinement. So. We don't have much value off of. Off the idol, so let's just go ahead and get rid of their graveyard. They're not going to have any creatures for us to put counters on. I don't want to do ours. Is this a, I don't know if it's a mill deck or what the, what's going on. This build definitely probably needs some more refinement, but hey, that's what we're doing here, just doing some play testing. So our opponents don't like to have any creatures, so we'll just swing 3, see what they do. And we can idle. I think we have some Mire Tritons and a Glowspore Shaman. That's something. We are not looking too good here. Okay, no counterspell. That's pretty cool. Now let's activate. Play Knight of Autumn. Destroy. Felt pretty good. Okay, so that'll put in some work. We'll see if it's enough though. I think the problem with Idol is it's some pretty decent interaction. Obviously we got blown out by a Brazen Borrower before. And our opponent's helping us out here with the mills, that's cool. Second Idol. Well, let's swing 3. I wonder if this deck needs like a Trostani or something. Do we have to do this? Yes, we do have to do this on our turn because we have to cast it, so we can only cast creature spells on sorcery speed. So yeah. Do you want the Ooze back? Let's Glowspore. Let's Glowspore. We have another Idle Endurance, so if we hit a bunch of stuff, we can just play the second one. Our opponent was rude. We can get back 2 creatures. I guess that's worth it. Might as well. Definitely fun, like this deck needs something. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll keep playing a little bit. Oh, Teferi. Okay. Teferi, Master of Time. That is a card I will hope to avoid. And the upcoming standard. But early access event. Let's see what it does, and give our opponent a chance to do their thing for their followers, subscribers. Do we even attack Teferi? I guess we kind of have to, right? We hit 3 down to 8. That's not super amazing. I think we just have to keep Teferi in check. Though that's some pretty nasty abilities. Okay, I'm sure they have a way to kill it. They're just going to lose it to Teferi.
Looks like I'm out of time.
Okay, so we got Glowspore Shaman plus double activation on Idol. I mean, so they're not Esper, so they don't have Shadow of the Sky, but they could have Ritual of Soot. Well, I mean, we could take a Triome just to cycle next turn. It's not terrible, but I think I'd rather just draw something else. Alright. Do we Triton here? I guess we just Ooze. They still don't have any creatures, do they? No, just Planeswalkers. Okay, there's their Drown in the Lock, so they have a bunch of counter spells. And Drown Lock is pretty good for what they're trying to do. Necropanther? Oh, we can't mutate. We can only cast it as a creature. Okay, that's good to know. That is good to know. I was hoping you could Idle and Idle plus mutate. Take the over. Swing 3, get a Knight of Autumn back. Destroy your enchantment. So, typical Golgari fashion, very grindy. They have the Ritual of Soot. That's pretty nasty. Yeah, let's drop the Glowspore Shaman. Just get a 3 power on board, so that's 3, 6, 8. So if they whiff here, then we have it. Yeah, decline. Whew. They can draw with Castle Locthwain. They're taking a life. Oh man, Nethroi. Nethroi. Let's swing. Good game. Okay. Alright, so definitely a interesting deck, Idol of Endurance. Definitely seems like it's a fun card. I'm not really sure quite how to build around it yet. I had a couple versions of it, so this is one version. Definitely going to be testing a little bit more, but I think I'm going to wrap it up there as far as this particular one, so I can jump into another deck since I got kind of a late start on the stream early access event. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, make sure you jank with a purpose.